Hey guys, and welcome back to the series where we take Manchest United to the top again. In this episode we sell a very important defensive player for us and we bring someone in who you wouldn't actually think he could play on that position, but we're going to be retraining him to be able to do so. Anyway, a lot more in this episode, so go ahead and watch how it all unfolds. January is upon us, and let me show you how we've done in our second season as Manchester United's boss. So as you saw last episode, we did win 4 of our first games. After that, a kind of a rough patch. We have a loss against Chelsea, against Bayern, and a tie against Liverpool, where we could have definitely won, but we played pretty bad. Liverpool played even worse, so we could have actually won this, but unfortunately our team still isn't good enough. However, after that, we played a backup team and we beat Bournemouth in the Carabao Cup, also beat Sheffield United 6-0. After that, some wins in the Champions League against Atletico Madrid and Malmo after losing to Manchester City in the Carabao Cup, which is unfortunate. We then also drew against the Czechian club Crvena Zvezda. I don't know if I pronounced it right, but we weren't even that bad, but for some reason we just couldn't really capitulate on it. I played a backup team because I thought we would win it, but apparently it was harder than I thought. After that, losing against Brighton, losing against Luton and losing against Leeds, I was getting kind of tilted, but in between that we also win against Manchester City, so I don't know what's going on here. These were just very poor games from our side, also a red card in one of them, and I think in the other one we got a 97th goal against, so I was getting very frustrated with that, especially after that we had a draw against Crystal Palace. At that point I got really mad at the team and said, come on, we gotta change it around, and we did. In our previous 7 games we've won 6, or 8 games we've won 7, and we've only lost 1 against Norwich, which once again we really shouldn't have lost, but it's just the gods telling us we can't really win those games, because as you can see we beat Newcastle, Chelsea and Arsenal, but then we lose against Norwich, so I don't know what that's about. Anyway, in the next couple of games we'll be playing Barrow, Leicester, Tottenham, Sevilla and Barcelona. Sevilla and Barcelona are going to be tough. I hope to win against Sevilla, and against Barcelona I might just let go past because they have a pretty good team, although in real life they're not that good. But we should be able to win all 5 of them if we just keep our current form going. And because we won all those games at the end of the year, we are now in 2nd place, which is not too bad. We are 4 points off Chelsea and Aston Villa, and City are 7 points off, so we're doing very good. We should just keep on winning, but it's just a shame because we are beating the big teams and we're not beating the small teams. So if we actually beat the small teams, we would have had a very comfortable cushion and maybe even be in first. I don't know. But it's just how FM works sometimes. The team isn't there yet. I don't think a lot of my players are playing very well. So I'm trying to see what I can do with bringing new players in. But we're just going to have to upgrade them gradually through the year. And then let's check out how we did in the Champions League. You already saw what we did. We did lose 1 against Bayern, but we've won 4 against Celtic, Bayern, Malmo and Atletico. So we're doing very well, also drawing from that against that Czechian side. So not doing too bad. I don't really have a lot of players who are really performing well per se in this competition. As you can see, Garnacho is actually playing very well, but if you look at this guy, he doesn't really have anything special except for his pace and maybe his holy trinity, but I don't think he's that bad. But whenever he plays good, so he might just be a starter for me later on. As you can see in the FA Cup, we're in the 3rd round, so we still have 3 competitions in which we're active. My main focus, of course, is once again on the Premier League, so that we can play Champions League next season. If we don't reach the quarterfinals this season, I don't really mind. I'm more focused on being a consistent top 4 team in the Premier League, and I think with the team that we have right now, we should be able to do it. But let's go ahead and check what the team is looking like. Before we started this season, nothing really changed, and still nothing really changed. As you can see, who are getting a lot of games are of course Onana, but I really want a different goalkeeper. And also Barco, I'm trying to play a lot because he is developing quite nicely, although he does show red arrows now. I've tried to train him also on the right side so he can play on either side, because this guy is one for the future and I think he's going to be really good for us. However, I'm also trying to play Gonzalo Inacho a lot. Also red arrows, don't understand why, but this guy I also want someone for the future. Although I do think he's always going to be our third choice ball playing defender, because Romero and Martinez are just doing very, very good. I'm also trying to play Bargi and Højlund a lot, because whenever Højlund plays, he actually plays very good. 12 games, 8 goals, so that's not too bad from him. Very happy to see what he can do. Then Sam Wooden. I have played this guy a couple of times as a substitute when we were winning, and I just want him to get some playing time. I really think this guy could become insanely good, and for 14.5 million, I'm really having big hopes for this guy. Echeverry, I am not playing that much because I don't think that this guy has a lot of potential. If we can sell him on, I will sell him on. I haven't really played him yet. I wanted to loan him out, but he didn't want to go on loan. So maybe he wants to go on loan this season. We'll just have to wait and see. I'm still trying to sell Anthony, and I also really want to get some other players out my squad. But it's hard, you know, because for example, I want to get Jadon Sancho out because he's earning too much, but I also want him to give me some money so I can buy a replacement for him. Anyway, what I will be doing now is I will be going to and simming to the end of January. I will show you the games that we are going to be playing. I will do those off camera, and then I will come back to you with how we did in those games, and also with if we were able to sell on some Deadwood players and bring in some new talented guys to replace them. Anyway, you will see me in a blip. For me it will be a couple of hours, but for you it's just 1, 2, 3, and we're there. The January transfer window has concluded, and we have done pretty well in January, I would say. We are through to the third round, then to the fourth round, and now to the fifth round after beating Barrow and Bolton. In the Champions League we beat Sevilla and lost against Barcelona, but is that enough to let us advance directly? We lost against Tottenham, which was very unfortunate. 94th goal against, what made it a little bit closer in the Premier League. So I'll be showing you now how the competitions are looking. In the Premier League, we're currently in second, but it's very close now all of a sudden. If City win 2 more games, they're ahead of us. So it is getting very close, and it's going to be very close this season. I hope I can clinch out a Champions League spots, but it's going to be very hard, I do think, because our team isn't really running like I wanted to, but it's nothing we can do anything about, unfortunately. And then onto the Champions League. We did pretty well, winning 5 games, losing 2 and drawing 1, which means we qualify for the round of 16 already, which is nice. We don't have to play another game, which is really good for us, otherwise we would have an even busier schedule. And in the FA Cup we have been drawn against Arsenal, and with that out of the way, let me show you what kind of transfers we've made. Alright, let's start with the transfers out. First things first, Jace Fitzgerald, a promising youngster loaned out to Fleetwood to get some first team experience. Then also Claudio Echeverry, who we brought in last season for 10 million, only played 2 games for us and he needed some playing time. So I'm loaning it out to Argentina again, to his hometown, so he can get some playing time and hopefully develop a lot better. Then also Lewis Jackson, a youngster, just sold him on, not really important. Gabriel Biancheri, also a youngster, didn't have the greatest potential, didn't really get to play anytime soon for us, so just let him go. And then a big sale, Tyrell Malacia has left the club. He went to SC Bayern for I think a combined fee of 43 million, and it could be 54 million if he plays I think 20 matches, and he will definitely do that. So made some nice profit on him and got him out of the club. Of course we already have a replacement for him, and I just checked in my data sheet that his replacement is already better than he was, so not really too big of a shame that he's out now. Got a lot of money for him, so not too bad. And with that money, I bought one person in. Of course, Sverre Halset Niepen. You already knew this guy was coming in. We paid 5.5 million for him to Rosenborg, so that was very nice. He's just going to develop. He didn't really want to get loaned out, so he's just going to be getting some playing time in the under 21s, and if he can play, he will play for us. And then I brought in, you may all possibly know him, Luka Susic. I actually brought this guy in because he's very versatile in those front four positions. But I am going to be retraining him to be a wingback, defender wingback in attack right there, so he can fill in that spot that Tyron Malacia left. So really look forward if this guy can still develop a little bit, and if he will be a left back, he's going to be a very good left back. Maybe his potential ability right here isn't shown correctly and he could still improve, and otherwise he's just a good rotational player to have around, and which we can probably sell for a profit because we bought him for 70 million. So 70 million, if he plays, he's worth that any time of the week. Before we continue, I would love to ask you if you could leave a like if you're enjoying and subscribe down below. If you also want to make all the choices in your save based on data, go ahead and follow the link in the description. There's a video there which explains how you can use Excel and Football Manager to make all your choices when it comes to playing your players in certain positions or buying players based on data. Without any other further ado, let's jump and continue on with the video. And one last thing that I wanted to show you is the finances. As you can see, it has been going pretty okay. Like at the end of the season we get a huge influx in money. We get almost 260 million, but when it goes through the season we are really low, and last season we were at minus 113 million, and now we're already at 132, and we still have a lot to go. So I'm very curious how we're going to be working with that, because if you also look at the debt, we have almost 700 million in debt, so that's going to be very hard for us to pay off. Of course, this bank loan is almost paid off. This one should only be until 2027, so it wouldn't be that bad, but I thought we would have more income from our sponsors, but I guess we don't, so we're going to have to work with a lower wage budget. As it stands right now, I still have 21 million left and minus 40 in the wage budget, so I could still buy someone. I might do that when a good wonder kid comes up, but I'm not sure. I'll just have to wait and see. For now, that's going to be it. I'm going to be simming to the youth intake. I'll show you the youth intake, and after that we will end the video. Bam! Our second ever youth intake now. I haven't really seen many good players, but I guess it's just an average intake. Like I think the half of these players could potentially be okay, but not anything good. First things first, we've got Allen, a Brazilian wonder kid. I mean, he's alright, he just needs to develop, could become a pretty okay striker if he actually reaches that potential. Demoa, a Dutch wonder kid actually, or wonder kid. I just think with his ambitious trait he could become one. He just needs to develop a little bit more. I don't think he's really going to be it, but we'll just have to wait and see. Then Christian Jones, balanced personality, 14 determination is the reason that I brought him in. Okay, physicals, don't really think this guy is going to do anything. Same goes for Jason Nijhuis, balanced personality, okay technical, 16 bravery, but on the wing I'm not sure if that really works for you. Then also a goalkeeper who I was hoping was going to be good, 15 determination, however he's unambitious, so decided not to go with him, and that was basically all that there was. The other guys weren't very impressive to me, except for this guy with 19 aggression, 18 determination, but still not really the kind of caliber players that we're looking for to really make a difference. So unfortunately not too good of a youth intake, but it could be worse, I suppose. And that's it. That's the end of the episode. Next episode we're going to see how we did in our second season as Manchester United boss, see if we could make a run for it in the Champions League and how we did in the Premier League. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching. If you want to see more, subscribe down below or check on my channel. Leave a like if you've enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next episode.